Hi everyone, it is time for the next video from this page in Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford, and we have this little jar of flowers. I'm thinking terrarium maybe. Let's come in and have a little look. It's got a cute little handle or on the lid, maybe that's what it is, and a ribbon round. It's rather cute. Oh, I'm a bit squiffy. There we go. So I'm having a look. We've got, now, are these little grassy bushes or are they rocks? Probably bushes, leaves, flowers. I think we'll do the inside, we'll do these little bushes. I'm thinking maybe they're sort of mossy bushes, so it's a good excuse to grab my foliage pencil, which I really like using. Just having a think actually. I think I'm going to use my olivine first and do some areas, and then do some lighter patches. So Chromaflow pencils, olivine. So I'm going to use this along the bottom and here where they're overlapping like that, and then sort of fade it a bit, but then I'm going to just put a few patchy bits like that, and then the same on this one, because I want it to look a little bit more like, I don't know, like I think a bush would look, rather than just being quite smooth and plain. Now the foliage we're going to put on top here, and then a few patches of this around as well. I'm doing it really randomly apart from the sort of bottom, so if you're trying to copy exactly you don't need to worry, it's just sort of similar. And then I'm going to go all over it with the pear, and I'm going to see what it looks like. Okay, and just over the top. Now these sort of dark lines, not sure about what those are supposed to be and whether I should put some in. It's a siren. So I'm just looking for my olivine again. Here it is. And I'm just going to go over those bits a little bit where the areas are overlapping. I think what I might do is grab a really dark colour. The leaf green is probably a good one, and maybe do a few more lines just to sort of, I don't know whether it's supposed to be like a sort of liney bush or something. You don't have to do this, but I just feel like just those few lines need something, some sort of acknowledgement that I've noticed are there. I don't know. Now it maybe looks a bit leafy. Right, the leaves of our flowers. Now we've got two different types of florals, so I'm going to use two different colours of leaves. I'm not going to try and match them in with this because they wouldn't. That wouldn't necessarily make sense. So I think I use the sort of basil pine green for one, and then maybe the more jungle green for the other. So I'm going to start with my basil for this one, and I'm going to use the basil in the base of each leaf and then sort of fade it up, and then I'll pick another colour for the top. Oh, I suddenly feel very cold. My feet are cold, my ankles. Oh, it's just been raining, and apparently we're due wintry showers, although there was no sign of any sort of snow or sleet. It really was just rain. But I was just helping my boy buy a pair of shoes. He needs one to go with his interview suit, so I did that. Now I think I'm trying to decide whether to go for the pine or the pastel mint. I might try the pastel mint because the pine might be a bit too similar. So here we go, pastel mint, and I'm just going to go over the whole of each leaf, just gently. That's fine. It's I think that works well. Yeah, he wants some shoes to go with this suit for his interview in January. My other son's got a interview in January too, but he isn't keen on getting any new clothes, so I'm not sure. I found a shirt that he could potentially wear, but he didn't seem very keen, so I'm not sure. I mean, you know, in the wardrobe. So yes, jungle green I said, didn't I, for the other one? I don't know why I'm doing all the leaves first. I nearly said leafage then, all the leafage, because that's a word. Again, darker at the bottom. I think my husband's just getting up. It's, my goodness, it's 10:05. Wow, but he had a really late night the other night. Actually, I have no idea what time he came to bed last night either. I was asleep. So, yes, that's probably why. So that was, what colour was that? The jungle green. I want something lighter. We could go key lime. I'm not sure if it's a bit too pale. I'm going to give it a go. Why not? We went quite pale with this one, so it might just match a bit. Yeah, I like that. It's warming. Looks quite spring-like to go with these sort of daisy-like florals, which is nice. Yeah, that's it. We don't need any more. Thinking, because those we did a bit there. So, excuse me, flowers now. Now, I think these, with these sort of bluey greens, would look quite nice in maybe a purple. I think the Aztec purple might look rather nice. Where is it? There it is. I always pick this one. These sorts of purples are my favourite. If you prefer a different colour, go for it. I'm just going to put a light layer down. Yeah, I tend to pick my favourite colours. And with the Chromaflow, I know they're available open stock, so if I run out my favourite colours, I'm just putting some lines here to sort of separate off those petal sections. I think that's what these lines would be. I feel like it needs to be a bit more intensely coloured than that though. Maybe if I colour it all in a bit darker and then I use a darker colour to define those petal sections, that might be better. I managed to go miles out of the lines, but hey ho. Violet. So here I'm just going to go up here just to emphasise that floral shape. I think that's enough. Okay, our daisies. Now, I'm tempted to go orange, but we did do a purple and orange flower combo already. So let's go. So let's do a more pinky purple colour, because I know a lot of you like those sorts of colours. So if we go for a wild berry, that might work. I'm just trying to find it. Is that it? Yeah, it's the only pencil that's turned the wrong way, so I can't see the name. Of course. So I think simple with this one, just a little bit darker near the centre and fade it off a little bit. Nice and straightforward. I'm thinking about those centres, what colour to do. Oh, my feet are so cold. It's almost like there's a draft in here, and I don't see why there would be. Oh, the sun is beginning to come up and out a little bit. Right, the centres. I was thinking I could go black, but I don't think I want to go black. yellow doesn't feel right, although maybe a lemon or a citrus. I'm going to go for a citrus yellow and see if it works. Just going to risk it. Risk it for a biscuit, they say. I don't think there's a biscuit though. It's a very old little phrase. What do you think? I'm not convinced. I think I'm going to put a bit of green in it. I'm going to get this key lime. I don't know if it'll show up. Oh, a big little flock of birds just flew by the window. Put a bit at the bottom. No, it doesn't show, does it? Let's grab one of the other colours I used. The jungle green. Oh, another bird. There we go. Yeah, I prefer that. I'm just going to try and blend it up a bit. That's better. There we go. Now, I sort of got to think about this jar. How are we going to colour it? I'm always quite tempted to go metallic. But we've got to do the glass. Let's do the glass first. That'll help me decide, I think. We did glass last time, didn't we? And we used Oxford Grey. I'm wondering whether to use a slightly bluey colour this time, just to show you a different option. We could use, I'm just looking at my swatch chart, we could use the, yes, we could use the glaucous blue, however you say it. I think this will work. It's quite a grey blue. And we've got this line here. I'm going to use that as my edge. Just follow the edge of the item, and then just fade that in. And yes, colour over what you've coloured already. You shouldn't be pressing hard enough for it to obscure what you've done or smush it or anything. It should be fine. Just don't want to bring it all the way to the middle. You want a little lighter bit in the centre. There we go. Now, often a terrarium would be a tinted. I've seen green glass terrariums, but you wouldn't be able to see the flowers then, would you? I think that's fine. Now, what about the decorative part? I don't really know. I think I can't really think of anything but silver for it that would match, so we'll try that. Winter Lake is the grey. I think that will work best for this. And we can keep it reasonably simple. So I will put quite a lot of layers on this edge and then fade it towards the centre, and the same here. And we want to leave a bit of white in the middle. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this lower part. And then I might darken those edges a bit more. I think I will later, but we'll just fill in all these bits. Now you could do these bits different colours, but I'm not really knowing what, so I'm going to actually do it all the same. And once we get a darker colour in here, we can add some interest, perhaps is what I'm trying to say. And again, leave a light bit in the centre. For this sort of handle, I'm going to just put a bit on the edges. And hopefully it will give the impression it's a little bit more rounded. There we go. Right, so I'm going to use a darker, as I said, I'm going to use the slate grey, I think, yeah. And go down here again, just put some darker colour. I'm going to apply it quite gently and then layer it up if I need to, because it's quite a strong colour. I think that might be enough, but maybe just a tad more. There we go. Just to all these edges, just a little bit. Now my pencil's quite blunt, which helps me not to apply quite so much. I'm going to sharpen it now because I need to do round here, and I can't, my sharpness over there. I can't do enough detail without it being sharp. Another bird flying by. Oh, around this edge. Just to make it a little bit darker. Now, this bit here, this sort of loopy bit, I think is overhanging because it sticks out a little bit, so I'm going to put some shadow under it. You can fade it a bit towards the middle where we're trying to sort of fade everything a bit, like that. And then I'm going to put a bit above here and a bit above here, make it a bit darker on the edges, and here also, here, just to give it a little bit more interest, as it were. There we go. Now I'm going to do the ribbon and then decide whether I want to do any more. It is quite plain, but I'm alright with it, to be honest. What should we go for ribbon? I'm thinking maybe ultra pink might be quite bright and pretty. Let's try and find it. Is it here? No. Oh, there it is. Oops. Ultra pink. I'm just going to put a whole layer on. No, I'm not. I'm going to start here. I'm going to do it slowly because we want to leave a light area here like we did on the actual item so that it fits in with that shape. I hope that makes sense. And then here I'm going to sort of fade so it's lighter right at the top where it might be catching the light if it's a nice silky ribbon, satin or something like that. And same here, fade to there. There's a bit in here that I'm going to do that a little bit darker, and under here I'm going to do darker, but I'm still going to fade it off just a tad there. And then we've got our long pieces. I'll just fade it where I think it might be. A bit tricky, but I can feel myself holding my breath. There we go. Let's have a little look. I feel that I need a little bit of white to just brighten these flowers a little bit. So I've got my jelly roll. This is my number 5, so it's quite fine because we've only got really small flowers. So I'm just going to put a few dots around here, and it really will just be a little bit of very small dottage. not dotage, dotage. It's a different word. It's a real word. There we go. So it's just a touch. There we go. Now you could put some shine on the edge of the jar, like here, but I really don't think it's worth it because I don't think it's going to show up very well, and it might just look a bit, end up looking messy. So I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so that is me done. So yeah, thank you for watching today. Let's just flatten it. It looks a bit of an odd shape because it's right in the sort of centre of the book, but hopefully there you can see it. It's not an odd shape. Right, yes, thank you for watching. I hope you have a super day and happy colouring.